So like I just said a couple of videos ago, Gina Carano is returning to Star Wars, and I have even more evidence to give to you today. I already presented to you a lot of evidence in the last video, but in today's video, we have some even more compelling evidence that Gina Carano is returning to Star Wars, and if this video doesn't prove it to you, then nothing will. I just think that if you add all of this evidence together, if you look at the Disney Plus numbers being down, if you look at Disney losing money because of Gina Carano, there is no reason for them to not bring her back. They have to know that it would bring all of the fans back that left from Disney Plus whenever she was fired. They have to know that it would bring all the fans back that stopped watching Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision as soon as she was fired, because believe it or not, it's not just Star Wars fans that were mad about the Gina Carano firing. It's not just Cara Dune fans that left that were mad whenever she was fired. It's people from all across the internet. It's people from all different fandoms that just support freedom of speech. They support free thinkers, and Gina Carano was one of the last representatives in Hollywood of free thinkers, of freedom of speech. And now that she's fired, nothing has changed. We're still going to support her until she is rehired by Disney, and then we're going to continue to support her. Like I said before, if Disney were to rehire Gina Carano, the first thing that she appears in, especially the first Star Wars thing that she appears in, the ratings for that are going to go through the roof. The ratings for that are going to be sky high because people are going to watch that to support it, even if people don't actually care about that episode, even if they don't care about that show, just to support Gina because they want to show Disney that they made the wrong decision in firing her. And if they do end up bringing Gina back, they want to show Disney that they made the right decision by bringing her back, and they want to show everyone that you can be a free thinker, you can express the right to freedom of speech in Hollywood and not get canceled and not get fired and not lose your livelihood. But let's get into the evidence that I have for you today that proves that Gina Carano is returning to Disney Star Wars, that Gina Carano will be back in Star Wars very, very soon. And a lot of people that I talk to in this space about this subject, when I ask them if they think that Gina Carano is going to return, they say, yeah, it's possible, but they don't think it's possible anytime soon. They say that she could return, but it would be in the next couple years. It wouldn't be in the next 6 months. But in this video, I'm going to show you that she can be returning very soon. She might have already returned, because we know how Disney is. They never would admit that they're wrong. They never would announce that Gina Carano is returning. They would just do it behind the scenes, behind closed doors. They would never make a big deal about it because Disney loves to take cancel culture's side. And if they brought Gina Carano back and they publicly announced that they brought Gina Carano back, cancel culture would not be happy. Disney would be next. Cancel culture would not have that. They would definitely go after Disney and probably take them down in some sort of way. They would probably take some sort of money from them or get someone else fired. They would do anything possible to make themselves feel special, to make themselves feel powerful in some way. Even though they don't truly care about making the world a better place, they don't care about any of these causes that they're trying to get these people fired for. But let's go ahead and get into the evidence. So this article is from Bounding Into Comics, and as you can see, the headline says Disney in talks to bring back Gina Carano to The Mandalorian. This was published today on May 3rd of 2021. A brand new rumor claims that Disney is in talks to bring Gina Carano back as Cara Dune to The Mandalorian. This rumor comes from Overlord DVD and his Hollywood agent. So I already know that people are typing in the comments right now as I speak, saying that Overlord DVD isn't reliable, Doomcock is a liar. And you can think whatever you want, but Overlord DVD, Doomcock has been right in the past many times, and yes, he's been wrong as well, but that's the burden of being a scooper. Scoopers are wrong sometimes. Sometimes they get wrong reports. Sometimes sources feed them wrong information. To be a good scooper, to be a good leaker, you just have to get things right more than you get them wrong, and I believe that Doomcock, I believe that Overlord DVD does get things right more than he gets things wrong. Overlord DVD states, my Hollywood agents have been telling me for weeks now that Disney is in talks with Gina Carano about the possibility of returning to the role of Cara Dune in The Mandalorian and several other shows in the Favreauverse. The YouTuber adds, I resisted saying anything about this largely because I had my doubts that anything would come of this. Disney certainly must have offended Gina with the alleged reason for her dismissal, namely so-called insensitivity to the Jewish people, which given the context of her tweet was unfounded objection. 100% agree it was actually an Instagram post, not a tweet, but the Instagram post that they're talking about was not offensive to Jewish people at all. And even if you are a Jewish person and you did get offended by that, she definitely was not trying to offend Jewish people by saying what she said. If anything, she was standing with the Jewish people, saying that I feel your pain, saying that we feel your pain in today's America. Now, is it a one-to-one comparison? No, I've said over and over again that I do not believe it's a one-to-one comparison, but she wasn't trying to be offensive towards Jewish people, towards people that went through the Holocaust. She just wasn't trying to do that, and everyone knows that she wasn't trying to do that. The only way that you don't know Gina Carano's true intent for that Instagram post is if you just go around reading headlines and you never actually looked at the Instagram post, because anyone who actually looked at that post know that Gina Carano wasn't actually trying to hurt anyone's feelings. She's just not that type of person. Just go look at any of her Instagram posts, just go look at any of her Twitter posts, anything that she posts on social media, it's all peace and positivity with the occasional questioning of social constructs. Disney and Lucasfilm fired Gina Carano through a 2-sentence press statement. It read, Gina Carano is no longer employed by Lucasfilm and there is no plans for her to be in the future. Disney added, nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. As for Carano being offended by Disney, she made that clear when she joined Ben Shapiro on his show in February after Disney fired her. He told Shapiro, I'm not the only one that's ever been bullied by this company, and I know that so deeply. I could share a story which would turn things around in the media, but I can't because it would sell out a friend. Everyone is afraid of losing their job. So the famous statement, I'm not the only one that's ever been bullied by this company, it's been posted hundreds if not thousands of times on the Star Wars social media websites. And ever since that statement was made on that Ben Shapiro show, I've been wondering who could she be talking about? Who is that friend that she doesn't want to sell out? Could it be Pedro Pascal? Could it be Jon Favreau? I don't know who it could be. Honestly, I think a safe bet is Pedro Pedro Pascal, I think he probably said something extremely offensive on social media, which he has in the past many times. But I bet Disney went to him and said, as long as you keep your beliefs, as long as you keep your offensive tweets on the left side of politics, then you'll be fine and you won't be fired. Just keep your tweets, just keep your social media statements on that side of politics and you'll be fine. I bet you that's what it was. I bet Pedro Pascal told Gina Carano because they said that they are friends behind the scenes, that they were friends. Regardless of their differing political views, they were friends on the Mandalorian set. They were friends outside of the Mandalorian. I bet Pedro Pascal told Gina Carano that story and that's the one that she's talking about. But that's just total speculation on my part. Let me know what you think in the comments she could be talking about in that statement. I'm sending out a direct message to everyone living in fear of cancelization by the totalitarian mob. I've only just begun using my voice, which is now freer than ever, and I hope that inspire others to do the same. Carano concluded they can't cancel us if we don't let them. Overlord DVD recognizes that Carano signed on with the Daily Wire, saying, I was just afraid Gina had moved on and would ultimately decide not to return. That said, I may have some very good news for you today. He continued, a source has come forward claiming that Gina Carano is talking to Disney about returning, and proof of these talks have already materialized. As reported in my last pop culture breakdown episode, Disney officially uncanceled Gina Carano's episode of Running Wild with Bear Grylls on National Geographic. So ever since Gina Carano was fired, I've been one of those people saying that Disney will eventually want her back, Star Wars will eventually want her back, and they will probably offer her a deal to come back. But it kind of just depends on if Gina Carano wants to come back at that point, because she has an entire army behind her. She can do whatever she wants now. It sounds insane, but she doesn't need Disney. She doesn't need Star Wars anymore. She can be successful at anything, because no matter what she does, people like me, people like you watching this video will support her no matter what she does. We'll make sure that she's successful. It doesn't matter if she's working on Star Wars. It doesn't matter if she's working on Disney, on National Geographic. It doesn't matter what she's doing. She could start her own YouTube channel and be extremely successful, because that's the kind of army that she has behind her. So I didn't know if she would ever want to return to Disney. I didn't know if she would ever want to return to Star Wars. But in a way, her announcing that her Bear Grylls episode will appear on National Geographic after all kind of disputes that claim, because if she never wanted to associate it with Disney again, if she never wanted to return to Disney Star Wars again, then she probably wouldn't be too happy about her Bear Grylls episode airing on National Geographic, because it is Disney owned. So the fact that she is so happy about her National Geographic episode airing kind of disputes that claim. I think Gina Carano will end up wanting to come back, whether that's for the money, whether that's just because it's so prestigious to work for Disney, to work on Star Wars, or it's for the fans. Personally, I think if she were to return, it would be just for a thank you to the fans and kind of a middle finger to cancel culture and to Disney. But there was more proof out there in the wild. Cara Dune toys are back. Fans have been tweeting out pictures of Cara Dune toys on the shelves of Walmart again. Later in the video, he states these two developments are earth-shaking for Star Wars fans and as well as fans of fair play everywhere. There can be no doubt that there has been movement in Disney's attitude toward Gina Carano. Otherwise, neither of these developments would have come about. That's what I've been saying as well. There's just too much evidence. There's just too much news coming out at the same time. It's just way too convenient for there not to be a power shift going on at Lucasfilm. It's way too convenient for there to not be at least a philosophy shift. And in particular, we're talking about the Gina Carano situation, and there's just way too much evidence happening at this very moment, all happening at the same time for it to be a coincidence. There's just no way that all of this stuff happening at the same time is a coincidence, at least in my eyes. Overlord DVD concludes Jon Favreau gets it. He's on the side of the fans. Fans want Cara Dune and Jon wants Gina Carano, so it's looking good for the future of Star Wars if this rumor is valid. I agree, Jon knows what the fans want, and Jon knows that fans make money, and I think Disney is learning the hard way. They're learning the very slow way that fans do make money. The agenda that you're pushing doesn't make any type of money. The agenda that you're pushing isn't going to bring any new fans on. What makes you money is catering to the diehard fans, catering to the fans that Jon Favreau is catering to with The Mandalorian and with the other content that he's going to create in the future. And Jon Favreau knows that bringing back Cara Dune would bring back all the fans that he was catering to with The Mandalorian, all the fans that actually make Disney money. It would definitely be the smartest move that Disney can make right now, that Star Wars can make right now, that Lucasfilm can make right now, bring Gina Carano back into Star Wars, because it would make them so much money. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about this whole situation. Do you believe Doomcock? Do you believe Overlord DVD that Gina Carano is in talks to return to Disney Star Wars? Or are you one of those people who hates Overlord DVD, who thinks he's a liar, who thinks all of his sources are wrong? Let me know in the comments. If you want to support the channel, check out all the new merch that I just dropped. The link to that will be in the description. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitter or join the Discord, both of those links will be in the description as well. But thank you for watching the video and hope to see you in the next one.